Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to the Den. I hope all of you are doing well this evening. If you're not familiar with the Den is the best show on the entire internet. You can look high and low, you'll never find a better show. The reason why is because of each and every single one of you wonderful people that join the conversation every evening from Sunday to Friday at 9 p.m. Central Time. So I hope all of you are doing well. It's good to see you. You know, shout out to all of you regulars. Look like we got a couple of new folks in here, and welcome. The Den may be a little different than what you're used to if you're new here. And if you are used to the Den, well, it may be a little bit different to you too. It's always got something in the mix. No, but let's see what we got joining us. We're gonna have a very interesting topic tonight. And you know, you may think you may know, or may think you know where I'm going with this, but you have no idea. Like that old MTV thing. Well, locks. Oh, I got grades at the top of the locks. Oh, it's there. Oh, it's definitely there. That's why I wear the hat so y'all can't see all that, right? Shout out to the lovely Miss K Grace. I see you saying something to Maria. Her comments might have deleted out or something. My favorite New Yorker, John. How you doing this evening, sir? Miss Bell, Northern style. But you don't drink Southern style sweet tea. Shame on you. Ruby Tuesday, Ruby Johnson. How are you doing this evening? Cavity Creep, chocolate swirl ice cream. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Shawnee, welcome. What's the motherfucking deal? Welcome to the Den. Let me see. Heidi's here. Show's over, everybody. Heidi's here. It was nice talking to you guys. I guess we'll do this tomorrow. Hello, Heidi. Let me see. Man Cave. Shout out to Mr. Man Up. How you doing this evening, sir? D the Gamma. How are you doing this evening, ma'am? Always good to see you. Josh. Hello, Josh. The Cowboys fan. Interesting. Cowboys fan living in Houston, Josh. I wonder about you. Oh, the lovely Miss Marie Lovely. How are you doing this evening? They're joining the Big 12. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, Big 12 ain't no better than the conference they currently in. So, I mean, once you river the UT and whatchamacallit, it is what it is. We don't talk sports in here. Damn it. We don't talk sports in here, Josh. What's wrong with you? The lovely Miss Shonda Tony. How are you doing this evening? So let's get into it, right? So I know a lot of you are like Honcho. Make sure you follow on the proper social medias listed below. Ed Honcho HTX on Instagram and Twitter. Den Show Live on Facebook to make sure you get the proper notifications. Because you know sometimes the tube don't like what I be talking about. It might not tell you. So stop that. The swirl, right? So here's my thing, right? There's interracial dating, and then there's swirling. Okay. Delta Echo Golf, what's the motherfucking deal? Check my phone here. Oh, pardon me. That was very rude of me. There was something I've been trying to sell this thing. Anyway, so swirling, when I talk about swirler, I talk about those people who like strictly identify as I only date interracially, like, right? And y'all know my thoughts, y'all know my feelings on things, and I'm not mad at anybody who does whatever they do, right? But I think it's kind of a weird way to go about things, but I guess, you know, it is what it is. So I said there's a couple of things that swirlers won't admit. And generally when I'm referring to swirlers, I'm talking about black women, because that's like the first place I've ever heard that term as a swirler. Usually when you address other groups, it's like, yeah, I date such and such, or I date such and such. But swirler to me is more specific, like a black woman who only dates outside of her race. But I guess it applies to everybody. So the reason why this topic exists, right? I was at my favorite place, HEB, right? And I was getting a couple of things before Labor Day. And as I'm strolling in, I see an interracial couple, right? Something and it's not the first time we've talked about interracial dating here, right? We've talked about the behavior of black women and black men and white women, white men, and do they treat each race differently and all that stuff. But what we did address is that how we would say that white men like that would date a certain type of black woman, right? Not all of them are on the table. Certain types are. And so this one fit the protocol. She was nice shape, natural hair. From what I observed, spoke well. I mean, I was kind of just behind them, and they were just briefly talking, so it wasn't super loud. I was like, "Oh, I mean, did you pronounce that accurately? What was that you said?" No, but it all sounded good, right? And the dude was clean cut white dude. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yeah, that looks about right, because that's something that we've stated before. Generally, white men, if ever, usually don't see them with what some people like to call hair hats, right? And if you disagree this evening, the line will be open. I want to hear your thoughts. I need some of you old school folks who ain't called in a while. I need to hear from y'all. So they generally wouldn't date. They might fuck on them. They might fuck with them, but I don't think they take them seriously, right? Because it's a weird thing. If you got to think about it, especially from like another race looking at that, that's a weird thing. Am I wrong? I'm black, and I think it's a weird thing. So, but then, so I'm like, yeah, that's about right. That's generally how that works, right? But then, you know, I was like, yeah, you usually don't see the white guy going for the ghetto. We perceive as a ghetto black woman. Then on my way exiting out of the HEB, I saw a site. I was like, oh, it was another interracial couple. Actually looked like they had a child together, right? And observing the woman first, she was all of the stereotypical things that we would address as ghetto, right? Hood ratish, scallywaggery, if you will. I need to start implementing that. I'm going to start bringing that term in. But so I'm like, and not really paying attention at first. I'm like, oh, wow, I guess maybe I was wrong about this. But then I looked and I saw what type of white guy it was. He would fit into that category that some people would use a phrase, wigger, Malibu's Most Wanted, something along that nature. Tattoos on them arms and all that, crazy looking kind of demeanor. I was like, oh, well, that makes sense, right? The mentalities probably match up. Similar to that video, I think John mentioned a while back, I think the guy that was on Breakfast Club or something like that, or his video was on World Star maybe. And he talked about, oh, why he loves black women so much, the white guy. All the women loved him. And then he talked about basically they'll let you fuck and they let you do all the most low-ranking things that you could think of, basically. He loved him for all the low self-esteem type behaviors. That's what he applied to it. And so it's almost what I put in correlation here. So the thing is, and it made me just think about some stuff. And, I talked to my old lady about a bunch of things. We have very interesting discourse. Yes, she was a female. Oh, why didn't you finish that word there, Heidi? You want to say it. The German in you wants to say it. So the way I see it, it was like, this is something that I think, and this is my opinion. So when I'm saying swirlers in the context tonight, because I saw another video, it was a young lady I had invited a while back before I took my hiatus. Not the vacation, the hiatus. The vacation was jail. Hiatus was just taking some time off. And I saw a video because I tried to reach back out to her to see how she, and one of her videos was like how to get, I guess, a white man to date. They were trying to swerve, some weird shit, right? And I'm looking at it, I'm laughing. I'm like, well, white men aren't going to stand for the shit that y'all do. One, right? The off the wall, crazy looking shit, they're not with that shit. Absolutely, they're not with that shit. Your standard white guy, right? They're not with that. They weren't raised that way. They don't view women that way. Their mothers didn't behave that way. They didn't have family members who dressed, did, and act that way. So that's not going to be a normal female behavior for them. So one, you got to change your fucking attitude. But the thing about changing your fucking attitude would probably garner you the embrace or the interest of not just white men, but more men as a whole, right? But you say something like that to a black woman, you don't know her story, you don't know me, who is you, all these other things. Like, you'd have to really change your whole character to do that. And again, one of the things I mentioned earlier about the excessive hair, right? And my thing is, why go get the copy if you could go get the real deal, right? You know what I mean? Where's the violence? You're a terrible person, Shannon. What'd you say, the view? Oh, I know what you're talking about. That terrorist something. I think I do. I think I know which one you're talking about. You said there it is. They say there it is. It's compatible culture. However, what culture people tap into isn't much to do with color. And I agree with that. Roger's here. Oh, blah. But and then that's the thing. Like I say, it's behavioral issues. Chick I know, I posted something the other day on her grams, and she's not a bad looking chick. She's had some work done, has a few kids, and was out and about and saw a Caucasian gentleman, I guess, at another table. One, that's another part of probably putting everything on the fucking internet. I guess he was at another table looking at her. She got it all on the thing and showing it and stuff. And I'm just like, I don't think that those gentlemen are lining up to accept certain things that some, or maybe more black men will than white men. I'm just talking about culturally. I mean, it's generally a different culture. There's a lot of, like I say, similar things, but let's just be honest about it. Like when you're raised up around certain things, you're kind of have a tolerance towards it more so than other people, right? And I would think your top notch or more high class black men would not accept the same behaviors either, right? But I think you have more that will. So things that I think spoilers need to recognize: one, your behavior is what's keeping you off limits from anybody else, because I say more men in other cultures, one, which I call the patriarchy or whatever, that doesn't exist in black culture, they have more say-so over their women. Now, things are kind of changed with society, but a lot of the shit that black women get away in the black community that white men wouldn't stand for, Mexican, Hispanic men wouldn't stand for, some of those Middle Eastern definitely would not stand for, Asians wouldn't stand for. So that's why you have a limited opportunity to date outside your race. The black man has more opportunity dating outside of his race than the black woman does. And the reason why is because of the stigma that black women place upon themselves, right? It's the attitude, the attention-seeking behavior, the over-aggressiveness, and then, generally come with child, right? So the numbers, the opportunities are extremely slim. But a lot of them don't see this, and they think that you can take the same approach with men of other races that you can with most black men. And I think more black men are waking up to it too. I think Dan mentioned the other day, SYSBM, Save Yourself, Black Man, and some of these MGTOWs, there's a lot of black folks getting with that. And understanding that the black Western woman's behavior is not tolerable. But the sad thing about it, though, is that the black Western woman behavior is starting to permeate into other Western women. So you're starting to see increased numbers of Hispanic women acting in their own right ratchet, white women in their own right ratchet, and deeming it as empowering and as things of that nature, when in reality it's ruining you, and you're limiting your opportunities. Again, the Western woman does not want to be held accountable for her actions, but she does want all the benefits. So, and you're right, Shannon, it'll get her a man. It'll get her a man, right? And won't be the one you want. Travis, what's the motherfucking deal? Young Ken, what's the motherfucking deal? Let's see. Germans love the bus. I've heard that. The Germans are fans of the Negros, like the Crayolas, right? Yeah, and I would agree, and that's where we are though, because you've gotten to the point, and I've told y'all I've cut off certain types of music because I can't say certain things and then go back and listen to messages that promote the antithesis of that. I'm learning to talk today. All right. I've been eating a lot of popcorn. I'm not gonna lie. I got like some popcorn right before the stream, and I have some kernels in my teethus. Yeah, you can get it. That's the whole thing. You can get it, but can you keep it? It's super funny. I was talking to a little one about that today. She got placed in some advanced math class. I say it's cool that you're getting there, but can you stay there? That's what matters. So again, these are my thoughts, right? And I don't think a lot of women take that. Like right now, the Western woman believes that looks are everything, right? And they think that looks and I'm gonna be honest, right? I'm gonna be super honest. The Western woman has gotten uglier, especially in the 2020s, especially in the like as a whole, and I mean, especially this last like 5 to 10 years. I mean, you see all the BBLs. I say, who was it? Placed a story about the chick was supposed to be investing some money in Wall Street, investing the man's money. She took it and got a BBL, the butt lift, the Mexican butt lift. She went and got the cheap one. The Brazilian butt lift is when you go that way. When you go that way, the Mexican butt lift is when you go down that way. So prices are cheaper down there. You might down the operating table, but hey, you got a fat ass now, right? So anyway, and just like it's the things that they support, from the Botoxes to the fake eyelashes to the tattooed on makeup to just the more manly masculine behavior. Like, I'm not super anti-tattoo. I told you a little one here, a little dainty something maybe on your ankle I can deal with. But now if you got more than me, if you sleeved out, you know what I'm saying? And then, the red zone, just if you got anything right here, it's just shame on you for existing. You just ruining your whole billboard, right? Um, that's a turn up. And like I say, just the things that they're doing. You know, I get it when fake breasts were a thing. Cool, whatever. Never been really a fan of that. I'm not trying to play dodgeball in this motherfucker, but and it's just the things that like they're running from, your destiny. We talked about this the other day. Desirability is the loss of desirability is something that the Western woman cannot deal with. Like they're trying to compete. They're like 40s and 50s trying to compete with 20-year-olds because of the social medias, because of things like that continue to perpetuate this mentality, this behavior. Oh, 50's the new 30, 30's the new 20, 40's the new 25. No, 40's 40, 30's 30, 20's 20, all of these things. But again, the behavior, the putting everything on social media, women, a lot of the modern women cannot keep in-house business in-house, right? When you're out there, until a butterfly represents the grandfather. What the worst butterflies are? The big double butt cheek butterflies. I mean, basically it's a stripper tattoo. Don't ask me how I would know. But it's just like you've over-sexualized, women over-sexualize themselves more than anything. Like, you go get ass injections, then you go get a fucking double butt cheek butterfly just so you can shake your ass and make the butterfly flap its wings, I guess. How many people do you intend to show this to? Like, how many people, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I agree. Well, Heidi, you got to get you a tattoo. You got to get your little, get your little spade with a Q in it. You'll figure it out. But let's talk about it. I'm gonna open up the lines. Whatever's on your mind. There was something else I wanted to discuss. Talked about the Larry Elder thing. I don't know if y'all seen. I did a short video on that. Larry Elder getting attacked by what looks like some definite drug users in the mean streets of California. California seems to be a very terrible place. So, we continue to pray and think about our friends in the den from Cali. Exactly. What it used to be, if she smokes, she pokes. Now it's, I don't know. I think it's something created in a little bit. Yeah. But like I said, it's now it's just so masculine. The behavior is just so masculine. It's crazy. And we usually, when I show y'all these videos, the new masculine modern woman, and generally it's black women, and I hate to say it, it is what it is. And they are, excuse me, basically having gang fights in the streets, right? The modern woman has no couth about herself, going outside basically in her drawers and her bonnets. These motherfuckers take their shirts off like dudes and fight in the streets, brawls out, titties flapping all over the where, fighting in the middle of the street and have no shame, no cameras around. Like, it used to be a time when, remember when Marilyn Monroe, she was a whore, right? It was okay. She was like a loved whore, and she just did a little shit, the little wind blowing. Nowadays, bitches let the wind blow. They dress all up and fire up a cigarette. You like what you see, nigga? Yeah, you want that shit. Get your sub. Like, this is where we are, right? We live in a terrible society. I mean, there's great people. Don't get me wrong. It's just easy to point out the flaws, and it's fun to point out the flaws. But the thing is, the negatives, the flaws, the problems weigh much more greatly than the people who do the right thing. It only takes, one person to fuck up a situation in a major way, right? Everybody, you could have 100 people doing the right thing. One person doing a terrible thing could fuck it all up. So, a reformed Pookie, Kenneth, I'm very insulted by that statement. I was more of a Ray Ray than I ever was a Pookie. All right, so I'll take that back. Anywho, we will open up the lines. We'll take some calls. You know how we do in the den, whatever's on your mind. But if you have thoughts, if you are into swirling, any of the ladies who disagree with the statements that I've made, I don't know. I think last couple of streams, I may be, the den used to be very prominent with black women. I think I'm running them all off. I think they all gonna get mad at this nigga Honcho. You gonna keep talking about it? All right, nigga, well, fuck you and your little den show. Fuck you. I don't mean any harm, right? I tell you, there's a difference between women and females, and I got to make sure I am cognizant of how I address that. Females are the more animalistic types, the ones who just anything for attention. Women are those who carry themselves in a ladylike fashion. So there is a difference. Yeah. Butterfly with Stacey Keach, not familiar with that. Yeah, there is no feminine, there's no reason to, right? They listen to these fucking hard ass nigga female rappers. Yeah, bitch, get the bag, shoot that nigga in his face, get some new tags. Like, what? Y'all talking about robbing niggas? Y'all talking about fucking niggas and robbing? That's terrible. Like, imagine niggas was talking about fucking hoes and shooting them after they fucked them. That's the type of shit these bitches be on. Set that nigga up. Put some fucking drugs in his cup. That's what this generation is on, right? The men are getting softer, women are getting harder. Oh, America is doomed. What's going on? Let me toot it and boot it. Get on the line, we can shoot it. Shoot the shit. Give me a second. Let me switch it. I think I got the damn line over there. But a Pookie and a Ray Ray is to Miss Bell. Miss Bell, let's just say, I would assume in your younger day, you gravitate. I am not talking well tonight. Gravitated towards the Pookies and the Ray Rays of them. Yeah, so, you might have had your, I don't know, you might have had a Carl and a Johnny. Let's see. Man, I saw something the other day. Y'all know, dog, Tariq be killing me. I saw something they posted. I ain't even, who sent it to me? I think Broderick sent it, right? No, it wasn't Roger. It wasn't Roger. Might have been AB. I want to make sure I give credit where credit is due. And it was a dude on a plane, basically like freaking out. White dude on a plane, freaking out. He was doing some crazy werewolf shit. He was, and he was like biting on his mask. And he got up and he's like, "You gotta let me off this plane. We're landing." And like, "Sir, go sit down." And then he was like leaning over. He's like, "Oh, Joe Biden," something like, just like little clips of him. People like, "Oh, look at this racist rant." I said, this is why racism is no longer taken seriously. All right, and it's not that it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen as often as people say it does. A lot of people make it up. They have to fabricate racism. But like this story here, the dude didn't say anything racist. He said Joe Biden. And so I'm like, I didn't hear anything racist in this 1 minute and plus video, right? So I scroll down into the comment section. And in the comment section, I'm not sure. I didn't see the part. If you did get taped out, I didn't see that. Somebody else said the same thing I said. They're like, "Oh, I don't see any racism." And, a couple of people are like, "Yeah, me neither." Somebody comes in, "Well, the racist part is when he said Joe Biden because, he knows that all the black people voted for Joe Biden and white people voted for Trump." Really? This is where you reached, right? This is where you reach. This is your logic. Like, some people wake up so desperate to find something racist. I mean, just in desperation to find racism, right? Like it's pathetic at this point. So what happens is you got other people that are co-signing it, but it's like, I don't understand what you're saying. It's like, because white people voted for Joe Biden too, and there were black people that voted for Trump, and he didn't even say anything about Trump. Well, it's not my job to help you understand. So you just come out and you say something like off the wall and then leave, and then, then talk about I'm too busy getting my bag. Like, well, why are you in the Instagram comment section anyway? But the thing about the Larry Elder thing that, like I said earlier, was crazy. Because if you reverse the roles, right? Had that been a masked monkey woman on a bike throwing eggs at, let's say, Obama, right? Every nigga on their Obama phone would be texting, "This racism. See, we told you racism is still alive." And it would be all of this, right? Is Larry Elder not a black man? Just because he, like black people got this weird thing. Like, we really do, like, well, y'all know I've been kicked out. I think me and Dan have been excommunicated from the black race. So we started the Coon Club. But, black people really do this thing. Well, if you don't think this way or act this way, you ain't black. Like, niggas was really cool with Joe Biden saying, "If you don't vote for me, you ain't black." I think motherfuckers really took that literal now that I think about that comment. If you don't believe a certain way, like, it doesn't matter the color of your skin, you ain't black. But, like you say, if you're white and you can dance, you can get invited to the cookout. That's how this works. So, it's super crazy. He said, born in the 70s, racism was going down consistently to the last day. Like, I would think so. Like, again, it just doesn't, I don't see it. Like I say, to me, it's fabricated. And like I say, every time you see somebody say, "Oh, these racist people wrote on a church, let's start a GoFundMe, we need it." Right? Oh, it turns out it was the deacon. It was the deacon that wrote that on the church. Or remember the girl a while back said the white men attacked her and pulled her hijabi over or some shit like that. Turned out she was lying. And it's just crazy because you see all these stories and they're all fabricated. And then one we all know so well, one that brought a lot of y'all to the den, the Jussie Smollett story. Like, anybody with common sense knew that that was false from the jump. You're telling me just two random MAGA white men in the middle of a freeze in Chicago? Hey, aren't you that Empire nigger? What? This is what I'm supposed to believe? And like, don't get me wrong, white people watch Empire. I told y'all about that. There was a very conservative, older white lady when I was at that bar. Hold up.
Biden stole my black card. He let Chet Hayes use it on the weekends. He charges Hennessy prices for it.
Shout out to Dan, the motherfucking man. And here's the thing, right? And it's the crazy part. Is like, and I've seen it. I've never watched Empire. I have no interest in it. Will never watch it. Just whatever. And I guess it won't be as good now, so now we don't have the Smolier drama. Does it even still come on? And so it's not far-fetched to say, oh, white people watching Empire. No, they do. She told me she liked the production or something about it. Like, I don't know. I had no idea. Maybe she did. I don't care. But to just think, like, that was the part that gave it all away, like, the conceit. Aren't you that Empire nigga? An Empire full of niggas? What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about, right? But it is what it is. It's super wild, right? Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing, right? Like, yeah, if you're not on the liberal plantation, well, we know what happens next. The black MAGA man from Jamaica. I can't lie though. The funniest shit was Miss White, because Miss White called Ed around when that happened, and she like, oh, it was them damn Nigerians. I don't trust no damn Nigerians. That shit was the funniest shit in the world to me. You know what I'm saying? This is Shirley's. I had three things. One of them was behavior, that their behavior is what's keeping them from getting good men. The other was their appearances was keeping them from getting good men. And the third was the baggage that they carry. So it's not about that they'll find love in another race. It's a general thing across the board that they need to change the way that they operate as a whole to find better men. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. Like, Jesse was so out of like, Jesse was super out of there when he's like, oh, I'm the black. As soon as I seen that shit like 3 days, I'm like, I'm for sure. I am 100% confident that this dude is a fraud, right? Look, black men were never on board with Jesse. The gay black men were. But black men was never like, no. Black women, liberal black women on the other hand, like, oh, well. And remember, that's before we found out Lady Licious was black. She called in, right? And she was a Jesse Smolier defender. And we had a conversation, and she's like, and I broke it down, and he's like, yeah, but I just like him on the show, and that's what it was. That's the issue with most black folks, is that somebody that they like, and this is people, period. So it's not just black folk, but if you like somebody, you're almost willing to overlook certain things or a lot of things and lean towards that person because you have a favoritism for them, right? And so you're willing to ignore the truth. That can't be not. It's kind of like I was in the sauce earlier talking about a particular quarterback and how a lot of people are overlooking his behavior because of all this other stuff. But it's like, no, you got to look at it for what it is, straight up. Oh, I guess let me put this on here. So, like I said, the line's open. You want to call in? I don't know the number offhand. It'll scroll across the screen in just a second. Where's Maria G? Like, Maria G threatened to call in yesterday, didn't talk about, oh, I'm tired, I'm going to sleep, and didn't call in. Excuse me. 832-694-1337. Excuse me. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
I guess I beat Maria to the punch again. Sorry, Maria.
It's all good. Dan, the motherfucking man with the plan. How you doing this evening, Mr. Dan?
I'm doing all right, man. I got to do some studying for this legal class. It's going to fuck me up. I mean, I understand the concept, just these cases. You have to read it. It's insane. Like legal concepts of business and lawsuits, all this other foolishness. I know basics of the law, torts and, common law and things like that. But just, oh, God. No, what can you do? So I figured I'd call in and kill some time. The class it's still tomorrow night, so I have a few hours to learn a few cases.
Okay.
It's basic shit. It's not like I'm doing some prepaid shit. No, fuck all that.
I'm calling prepaid Dan.
Shit. I hope he's all right. I ain't talked to him in a minute. Hope he's okay. But yeah, man. Ooh, well, first off, before I get to the main subject, it wasn't the fact that someone tried to assault Larry Elder that shocked me. No, I saw that coming. It's talking about the liberal bastion in California. There are no black governors, by the way, in the United States, including Alaska and Hawaii. So it behooves us to break this trend and get a nigga in office. Can we get a nigga in office?
Yes.
I mean a real nigga from fucking he was from Compton, not that nigga from Hawaii, that half a nigga from Hawaii. No, we want 110% American nigga. Just because he's a conservative judge and he has certain thoughts about, fathers being in the homes and conservative values. You tell a nigga. I'll put the nigga on. Come on, look, hook a nigga up, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go fully woke. Yes, get a nigga in office.
Right. Now, see, why Kamala and Joe are trying to get down there and rally their support, and Gavin saying, he's sexist and vaccine mandates, and then you see that article talking about he's the blackface white supremacy. See, Larry getting into office would fuck up something serious, and that shitberg known as the DNC stronghold of California. There's some shit going on that, as long as within their little circle of people, Nancy Pelosi's nephew and all this other bullshit, it won't get out, you know. But apparently shit's getting so bad they can't have him in office. Yes. So he was an ex-Crip. Wow. So yeah, real nigga right there. Shit. No, he ain't no ex-Crip. He's still a Crip. He cripping. If he wins, he's gonna walk up into the governor's mansion. You'll see a blue flag hanging from the left side. That's the Crip side, right? You know what the dog said and shit. So yeah.
That's why that dude was flexing with him. He said he left the gang, man. That's why he was over there tripping. You know, nigga had the blue flag on his face at the end. Democrats control everything. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
That dude, that was the worst part of it. I expected those two liberal fucks to do that shit, but that black dude at the end, Democrats control everything. I'm like, man, have you looked around, bro? Maybe you need to switch it up. Maybe you need to go with more conservative values. Maybe you need to stop emboldening criminality. Yeah, Joe and Sean, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about that crazy shit. I didn't hear about it until I got home from class today, and I saw Honcho's response on it, because I thought someone had put a fist on him. Yeah. Thank God it didn't. It's insane, bro. But there might be worse. If he wins, there might be worse. But then again, the DNC voting machine might act up. I already heard there's that one felon who got caught with a bunch of votes.
Oh yeah, with the Xanax and
yep.
They got the gun, the Xanax, some other shit. Did they say he had some meth? So he had a variety of drugs. He had a one-stop shop going on. You want some votes? I got some dope. I got whatever you need.
I mean, just breaking down the utter failures in California. Let's look at San Francisco. Besides the feces and the heroin needles and all that shit, just littering the streets. You know, kids can step in, and kids can, tourists can get, needles popped into their feet when they're walking down in their Birkenstock sandals and shit like that. The new policy of not being able to rob less than $950.
It's $950 now?
$950 in stores.
Wow, I thought it was like $300. They upped it up to $950 now. God.
Yeah, one store owner, he said, "I'm gonna make everything in my store $951," and they don't rob him. I'm sorry, they don't procure supplies from him. And this is Nancy Pelosi's district, the Tenderloin district, with all the HIV and shit needles. That's her district. But yet she is the fucking, wasn't she Speaker of the House or some shit? This is amazing. Yeah. I lived in San Diego for a year. I saw a homeless man at 9 a.m. taking a shit in the middle of the streets in front of me and a family. I think I told you the story. And I looked at him. I said, "Man, I'm sorry, man. Welcome to San Diego, y'all. My bad, y'all. I'm gonna take you, man."
Could you imagine?
I know that's home.
Could you imagine though walking down, going on vacation to San Francisco, being just your average American male? You accidentally step on a needle, contract AIDS. You go back home and try to explain that to your girlfriend or your old lady. No, baby, I wouldn't. It was a needle. I promise. You bullshit ass nigga. No, you can burn me. God damn, that's terrible.
Yeah. San Diego might be awesome, Heidi, but not when you're in the Navy. I mean, it was all right, but it was just too fucking expensive. I guess you're rich. Enjoy yourself. Yeah, man. So good luck to Larry, man. He's got a lot of opposition, and if he does get in, he's gonna have so much opposition from everyone else, all the mayors and shit that aren't on his team. So I mean, what can you do? I wish him best of luck, though. Yeah. What can you do? But as for the current subject of swirling. Now, here's my thing. Now, you mentioned there's some issues, and I can think of one clear issue. The fetishization, I mispronounced that, of a person's skin tone. This goes for white and black people, and Asian, and Hispanic. I think I'm going to give you three cases. Let's say white women and black men. I watched a lot of these Pink Book lessons. I've been addicted to her channel. She's been saying some real shit.
Oh, yeah.
Some real shit. And she had one video where they called into the Young Jock Streets Takeover show in Atlanta. And Atlanta would be where all the fuckery happens. And Atlanta. And this one dude, this one girl called. She is some white girl. She called to the show. She's like, he ghosted me essentially, and da 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 da. And then they call him. They kind of ambush him, and he's like, "Hey, look, man, we was having sex, man," and she said, "Give me that nigger dick," and he finished, but.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you gotta get your. I mean, look, I've already started. To her. Yeah, I don't want to get blue balls, and it's just because you said something bad. I gotta,
Yeah, and she's like, "You didn't say anything. I thought you liked it." Like, look, I've slept with some white women, right? Mm-hmm. Never has it occurred to my mind, say, give me that cracker pussy, give me that white pussy, give me that kitty. What the fuck nicknames people have for the vagina nowadays? It never occurred to me to say that, but I've heard. It was one or two. I was drunk one of those times. White woman say, "Yeah, give me that black dick. Give me that black dick." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm not gonna. Okay, sure. Okay, all right. Okay." Oh man, the homeless man is a Chad Travis. Yeah, look, that's alpha male. That guy's alpha and a sigma at the same time, man. He don't give a fuck about shit. And but it's just that fetishization. Now look, I think skin tone, everyone has preferences. Mm-hmm. But if that's the only reason you're with somebody, I don't think that's a good idea. Because you got some black men, they're very choosy with their woman. If they're messing with a white woman, she hit the gym, stuff like that. She got a job, shit like that. Mm-hmm. But some of these dudes, man, just to get a white woman, they'll mess with some trailer park, 320-pound the trash.
Yes.
Chip trash.
Yes.
And good credit. Yeah, good credit, man. That's what I'm talking about. So that's a white woman and black men. So I'd say both sides need to be choosy. And you white woman, I mean, look, I've seen many out become single mothers messing with these hood wolves, these hood buggers. Mm-hmm. So keep playing around these thugs. You can find out what these black women know. That's just that one. And then a white man and black woman. Now, I've seen many pictures on the internet. I've heard a few stories, and there's certain websites I've heard about where there's this whole fetish of like the I'm your nigger bitch, and I'm your master and all this other shit. Like, who the fuck signs up for this shit?
Yes.
Like this is atrocious both ways, And who's that dude? Chad Willer beating shit out of a black woman? You hear much about that. Yeah, which is fucked. I don't like domestic violence at all. That shit ain't right. So, there's the whole fetishization and more often than not, usually it's the white person doing the fetishing, the fetishization, probably liberal. That's just what I'm assuming, But maybe conservatives, I don't know. And then another one, I don't really have my main two examples are really just black people and white people. That's really the main fetish is, that's mainly where that comes from. It's ridiculous, man. So if you just mess with someone just purely because of their skin tone, I think that's a bad idea. Because some of you black women end up with some of these demonic ass white dudes beating the shit out you and treating you like shit. And he's not going to marry you. He is not going to marry you. You might have kids with you, but he's not going to marry you. and some of you white men, you well-meaning white men, you end up with some of these crazy heifers who want a biracial baby so much with the good hair. They will lie, they'll poke holes in the condoms, they'll do all types of wild shit, and so good luck with that. You'll find out some of these black men know about some of these crazy black women. Just like you white men, you find out some of these black women know about these dysfunctional as black men. So I just say, look, bro, analyze all the aspects of a person. Their credit score history, their criminal history. I mean, the fuck, bro? I really don't give a fuck about jungle fever. It is what it is. Joe, man, I hope that works out for you. Wish you the best of luck. I'm not trying to insult you on your situation. Hope it works out, bro. And Heidi, it is what it is. Heidi is Heidi. Swirling, man. I wish people wouldn't put so much of a fetish on skin color.
Yeah.
But that's what it is right now. That's what it is. So I think that should be the. Oh well, another thing is I guess the whole yellow fever, Asian woman stuff like that. I see like a lot of black and white dudes. We're done with white women. They're done with black women. We're going to start stuff with Asian women over there, Japanese and Filipino women. Bro, some of these women creeping on y'all, too. Just go over to the States, bro.
Do you think that's a thing, too? Because, generally there's traits associated with certain cultures, right? And it used to be, in America, you had generally you're white and you're black, and it was, hey, the white woman's more submissive, she's not gonna fight with you, she'll cook you breakfast and stuff. And the black woman is like, bitch will stab you while you sleeping, she gonna fuck on your cousin, mama's baby, daddy's maybe, all these things. Do you think now that, like I was saying earlier, some of the more westernized women are adapting or adopting some of these not so beneficial behaviors, that guys are looking elsewhere, looking like at the Asian women, looking towards maybe more Hispanic women are rising in popularity because they seem to be more about catering to the man?
Possibly, but I think a lot of women nowadays, just in general, the whole Western culture, more independence, and you don't have to listen to your husband. And I'm not saying you have to stay your ass in the kitchen 24/7 barefoot and pregnant. I don't agree with that, because I wouldn't want someone dead to my niece. If a man tried my niece like that, well, I hope he has life insurance policy, straight up. Because you're not gonna. No, I don't want to think about that, because I'll lose my shit. I will lose my shit. I will drive, man. Look, I'm gonna calm down. That's my baby girl. I'm gonna calm down. I don't want anyone trying to beat on her like that. So I wouldn't want that out of the woman. I wouldn't. Well, I ain't marrying nobody. I'm done. I'm dying alone. I accept that. But like, if I was getting a relationship, I wouldn't want that. I want like some sort of give and take. Someone I can have a conversation with. I don't want to get disrespected. I'm not gonna disrespect you. But I think a lot of women nowadays are become more modernized and become more independent. And we'll just eat out all the time and all this other shit. And I don't know. It might be safe to stick with your own race. That way you know what to expect. But you have the right to date with whoever you want. I'm not telling you can't date nobody else. No, fuck it. Do what you look. It's not my penis. Date who you date. I don't give a fuck, man. Just look. My thing is, if you're gonna mess with this person, just make sure if you have kids, y'all raise your kids properly, so this motherfucker don't rob me one day and I have to kill him. And straight up, because I will take someone's life over some bullshit. I swear to fucking Christ. I have no problem murdering it. I'm gonna calm down. I'm just tired. I don't know. Yes. Don't put me in a situation where it's between me and you. That's all I ask.
I agree.
That's all I ask.
Shout out to new subscriber Daniel Burns. It's been a long time since we've seen that on a live, hasn't it, Den Folk? Like it's been a long time since we've seen new subscribers during an actual live. That's cool. Hey, Lady Tia, good to see you. Yeah, but I agree. It's like, but you almost. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And like you said, it's just really a lot of fetishization. And if you're not just really getting to know the person for who they really are, you don't know what you're getting into, because we all, every race nowadays has a little bit of skeletons in the closet, if you will.
Yeah, basically. And that is what it is. And I guess that's just a risk you take for love, I suppose.
Yes.
That's kind of all I got, man. Well, what's a Hispanic woman? I have found them more passionate. Look, man, I met this one Hispanic woman recently, and she told me she was trying to trap me, bro. Yeah. She admitted it. I don't know why she admitted it, but
well, at least they're honest.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I did appreciate that, because she's like, well, because I was in the Navy at the time, and when I was messing with her, she's like, well, I mean, I'll be honest. I was thinking about just, getting you drunk and then bitch, you'd have sex with me, and which you already had sex by then. I always use a protection. She's like, just having your baby. And I was like, wow, okay. Well, I'm glad we talked about it first before that happened. And I told myself I will never sleep with this woman again.
Well, good decision.
Fuck all that.
Good decision.
Fuck that. We're friends, and I've been there for her in certain situations. She's been there for me, but I can never sleep with her again. No, no way in hell.
Yeah.
No fucking way.
Yeah, that's going to lead to issues either way it goes.
So, right. And so I heard some of these Hispanic women very passionate. I mean, Sarah just jumped in the chat. That's why I mentioned the Hispanic ladies. And heard some got the nice play. And look, I'm just like, some of y'all Hispanic ladies scare me, bro. I ain't fucking with y'all. I'm ready to fucking cut somebody, man. I'm not going to do that.
That is true. I don't like my life or flesh being in any kind of danger. I don't actively seek that out at any time. That's terrible.
But I'm about to get off the line, man. But my main thing is, you have every right to date whoever you want. I'm not telling you not to. If you prefer a certain person, because if that's one of your reasons why, then okay. If that's the main reason, though, I think you might be setting yourself up for failure.
Correct.
I agree.
Because you probably,
that's just my humble opinion.
Yeah, you probably paint a picture in your mind of something that isn't truly accurate. Like I say, you may have those stigmas attached to the skin tone. That person just may not possess those traits, and then you got to deal with whatever problems come after that.
Yeah, good point, man. That's all I got, man. Like I say, man, Hunter Biden stole my nigga car, man. Charging niggas Hennessy prices and shit. Chet Hayes using that bitch. Well, what's that dude? Jack Harrow got my shit, man.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh shit. That little dude can actually rap though. That's the funny part about it.
Oh, he kicked that shit then. Okay, all right. But I can't. So he doing more with it than I did.
Yeah, niggas gonna give you credit. You come out of school with a degree and all kind of shit. But you can't rap, nigga. So shit, fuck you. That's
nigga ain't played basketball. You nigga ain't never did no time. He ain't no real nigga. Look, I'll put it like this. There's more celebration for one of my family members getting in prison than for me graduating college the first time. And when I got out the Navy too. Yeah, when I got my honorable, wasn't a celebration for that either. Hey, what you gonna do now? I'm going back to school for a different degree. Okay, that's basically it.
Good luck, nigga.
And I expected that. Yeah. I remember the last time I celebrated my birthday because no one gives a fuck, and I accept that. That's life, man.
We'll throw you next one. We'll throw you a Dan birthday party.
Y'all ain't got to, man. I ain't gonna tell you my birthday is. Remember, okay, we'll do it. Okay, but hey, I appreciate the thought, man. Y'all have a good night, man. Oh Lord, yeah. Oh, Hunter and Joe. Oh God, I can't imagine what kind of shit went on in that house when they were growing up, boy. Lord.
Terrible.
I'll leave politics alone tonight. Well, actually, no, I didn't because we were talking about Larry Elder. Mm-hmm. So good luck to Larry. Sarah, vote in person. Goddammit, vote in person. So I gotta say, y'all have a good night. Shout out to Joe and Sean, Sarah, Miss Bell. Miss Bell, by the way, look, I know you was a righteous woman when you were married, so I ain't talking about your relationship. I just want you to know that. I'm just talking about some of these white girls out here dating all kinds of thugs and shit. Like, what's wrong with you? But some of these white girls out here dating thugs are just as fucked up. Yeah, one last thing. So there's one thing I heard a long time ago. A woman that black men need to be careful for. It's the white hood rat.
Oh.
Now here's the thing about the white hood rat. White hood rat's just as bad as the black hood rat. They will hide the drugs in their baby's Pampers. They will allow this dude to, hide the work in the house. They do all kinds of welfare fraud. But when y'all get locked up for some shit, she will turn on that white woman charm and she will get a reduced sentence, probation, while you niggas going to the pokey. That's real shit. That's real shit. I've seen it. Thank you, Travis. Shout out. So that's another thing black men need to be. I only know what black men need to be watch out for the most because I'm a black man. That's all I know. So, yeah. Fuck that. I've seen like 3 videos of like, right. I've seen 3 of like the white girls crying and shit. They reduce sentences, but the dude who was with them when they're doing whatever crime and home invasion robbery, he doing 10 years. But she planned it. She set the shit up. That's conspiracy. She should be doing just the same amount of time. Whatever, man.
The fucked up part about it though is she'll allegedly hold you down while you locked up, but she gonna be fucking. So, because I've been that dirty dog.
While Pookie Ray Ray doing the time, and Pookie Ray Ray is that general basic thug ass dude outside the gas station and all that shit. Shorty, Tim, your local rapper, she fucking them while you locked up, bro. So have fun with that.
That is true.
Your local area rapper. That's all I got, man. I'm sorry. Y'all have a good night, man.
All right, Mr. Dan, as always, sir. I appreciate you calling. I would say good luck on your schoolwork, but I already know you got it, so you don't need no luck. So, just knock that shit out.
Fair enough, man. Y'all be safe, man. Shout out to you, John. Cabin Creek, what's up, man? Culture. All right.
All right. All right. Shout out to the lovely Miss Sarah Lou. Good to see you, Joe. DeWanda, McVice. Who else slid in here? I ain't see Lady Tia. Ken and HB. Man, look, and I meant to say something. I don't be giving Miss Bell all that credit. Miss Bell was a wild one before she got locked down. Yeah, they had to put the clamps on her. She was a wild girl. She was a regular old Thelma and Louise. But yeah, that's culture. Yes, the culture. Good to see you, sir. What you say? You got some sushi? Word? What kind of sushi you got? Email me some of that shit. Hunter's a terrible person. Yeah. Bell was Bad Baby before Bad Baby was a thing. They called her Bad Bell. Oh man. But yeah, like so okay. So shout out to Dan the Man and his thoughts. Um and it really is a lot of it is fetishizing. Because I think that there are people of all different types and all different races. And we've heard dudes in here. We've had some very wild conversations in the den. Um, a multitude of occasions, right? And we've heard stories. When we were doing the Sunday night confessions, which I told you, I will bring back Sunday night confessions. If Memphis calls in and shares one of his stories with the den folk, I will bring back Sunday night confessions. So those of you who are in the den Discord, I implore you to motivate it. Say Bella still kind of watches this. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Bell is still, I told y'all I saw the other side of Bell that day that her and Ken got into it. I saw the real Bell. I told you that's what they call her, Bad Bell. She was Bad Baby. She was telling Ken, catch me outside there. Yeah, this is the den. This is where you're supposed to you take the zip tie off and let loose. Um but yes, I'm telling y'all, I saw so I was like, Bell said some things. I was like, oh, good grief. Some shit that would make sailors blush. uh Say good girls or bad girls who haven't been caught. I agree. I agree. California roll sushi. Okay, okay. Sushi's cool. That's why, various cultures are always good. Everybody brings a little something to the table. Um, let's see. It was a point I wanted to make. It was something else I was thinking. It was a statement he made, and I was thinking, but when he's talking about the Pookie and Ray Rays and getting locked up, yeah. Let's be honest, dog. When you doing some serious time, bro, don't even think about it. It's going to happen. Yeah, HEB. What? That deep fried contains cheese and crawfish. What is that? Where do you get that type of stuff from? Cash me inside. So all girls bad, yes. See, that's the okie doke they pulled on us, right? It may seem like men are terrible people, but that's what I mean. Like women are terrible nowadays. Right? They're violent. Girls stabbing each other. We had a serious conversation about that a few months back with the gentleman with the great aim. You know what I'm saying? Well, you hating on the shrimp tempura. Oh, stop. HEB, hoes everywhere, boy. But like I said, it's just it's different, right? And I'm wondering, like, what sparked this? What led to this? Because it used to be a point, where women at least tried to play feminine or submissive. But now I don't know if it's with this female empowerment. I don't know if you blame the Little Kims and Cardi B's of the world, right? Did they cause this behavior? But even then, that was just like whorish behavior. Like all the violence and fighting and anger, where did it come from? You know what I mean? Where did it come from? I don't think that. I'm telling you, I think I have ran the ladies off. They don't want to talk to me no more. The black women, at least I know. They're like, this asshole Honcho, all he does is talk bad about us. When that is not the truth. I love the black ladies. I love y'all. You blame Choice the Rapper or Chance the Rapper. I don't think I've ever heard. I'm lying. I heard one of Chance the Rapper songs ever in my lifetime. Um, yeah. See, I gotta do a topic on some like some old ghetto shit. I gotta do something about like a celebrity to get the women to call in. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
Figured you've been talking about me long enough. I might as well call in.
Yes, it's like Candyman. You say the name 3 times, pop
Click
up.
those heels and you get home. Is that the deal?
Yes, yes, that's it. How are you doing this evening, Bad Bell?
Better. I've been really under the weather with sinuses, super bad.
That's not good. That's not good.
Yeah, yeah, they get really, really bad. So it's getting better.
Okay.
But yeah. So as far as the swirl goes, I don't think I've ever really used that term until like maybe a few years ago. We always said twisted. You know, like when you go to Dairy Queen and they give you one vanilla and one chocolate and they twist it. Yeah, that's what my kids are, because my husband was chocolate and I was vanilla. That's how we worked it.
Interesting.
Was I attracted to him because he was black? No, not necessarily. He was cute. He was good looking, but skin color had nothing really to do with it. He was educated. He was smart. You know, I don't do hood rat or trailer trash didn't have the most money in the world, but had a great heart. And I just don't understand the obsession about, what is that, using color as a fetish. I don't get that. Can you explain it?
I mean, it's just a thing. I think that there are people who find, crossing over or doing things, I guess, that used to be considered taboo, maybe, interesting. They may find other races exotic, and then some people have the ultimate intention of signing the natural contract and having a child, and they want the mixed baby or as was mentioned, the good hair baby earlier. So you have some people who just are into the swirling for, different reasons. Some of it's just purely sexual.
I never looked at it that way because I just thought he was cute. So, I mean, it just didn't dawn on me about that until we decided that, okay, we're going to have kids. One of the things that's interesting, point of fact, is that in rural Alabama or Alabama in general, if two people spend the night under a roof, if they're both single, technically it's common law marriage.
One night?
Yep, it used to be. I don't know if they've changed it. It used to be what they call blue law on the books. Now in Florida, biracial couples couldn't get married till 2000. They weren't legal. Black and whites weren't legal to get married until the year 2000.
So I have a question for you, Ms. Bell.
Sure. You can ask me anything. It doesn't mean I'm going to answer it, but you can ask.
But you definitely should answer. Every time you answer a question, it helps enlighten those who may not be familiar with the scenario.
Lift the curtain of the mysteries.
Yes, the curtain. So being that you were of different backgrounds, did you and your husband ever engage in race play?
No.
Never, not once?
No.
So you've never used a reference to nigger cock or black cock?
Nope.
Okay. Interesting.
I think that that's a very individual thing. I don't think that it's an across the race or across the gender thing. I think that it's very individual. You have some people who are like completely conservative and, the guys on top, the girls on the bottom, and that's the way it is. Then you have other people that, get creative, and we'll just leave that at that. But no, for us, it wasn't like that. It was more, we were just into each other. It wasn't about race. It wasn't about everybody else. It was about us. And I think that's the difference between sex and intimacy is when you're playing a game or a role, that's different than being intimate with your partner. They can be the same, but when you're bringing all sorts of negativity into the bedroom, it's just not my thing.
So have you ever known anybody that was into something like that?
Yeah, just not my thing.
So, and so you've dated prior to your husband. You had dated across various racial boundaries, you would say?
Pretty much, I'd say black and white. Yeah, that's pretty much the extent of my crayon box.
No Latino stallions?
Nope.
Why not? What was wrong with the Hispanic?
Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. I just, you know what? It just wasn't a circumstance of meeting somebody that we were in that right space and time. I mean, I have friends that are Spanish, and I have friends that are, Korean, and friends that are of Asian descent, but you know what you want. I mean, people know what they want. It's not always about the stereotypes that we attach to it.
Do you think Hispanic people are bad hombres?
No. Wait a minute. Hombres means friend, right?
Hombres just like a dude.
Yeah. They're fine. I mean, I've worked with plenty of Mexican and Hispanic people. I don't have anything one way or the other. It's just never been interested.
Do you think Hispanic people work harder than black or white people?
I think anybody who has a drive works harder than anybody else. I don't think that has a race, creed, or color. I think that has to do with the person's individual drive.
Have you ever worked in HR, Miss Bell?
No. I've worked in all kinds of public relations and public service, and I've worked with people my whole career.
So, would you say that in an intimate manner that you have checked off your bucket list in life?
No, there's still a few things, and that's not for disclosure, but yeah, there's still a few things that I want to do.
Do any of these things involve ropes?
No.
Okay, I'm taking a shot in the dark. I was just seeing what I could get out of that. Okay.
Doesn't include handcuffs either, so I'll just add that one. On another level, I wanted to kind of go back to something you were saying about tattoos.
Okay.
And I have to say that many years ago, I completely got turned off to tattoos because I had worked in nursing for quite a few years. And if you work in the geriatrics department and you see an 80-year-old man with a battleship on his chest that's basically sagged from his middle of his chest to his belly button, or you look at a woman who was a woman of the evening and had all sorts of tattoos put on her body, and she was in her, late 80s, early 90s, it just turns you off to what you want to look at for tattoos.
So would you say he sunk his battleship?
I would say his battleship sunk itself. And hers is stretched around the room, and we'll just leave that at that. But yeah, I'm not afraid of getting a tattoo. I've just not gotten. I want to get one, but I want to make sure it's the right one for the right reason. So for that reason, I haven't done it yet. It's not that I'm afraid to do it. I just haven't found the one that I want.
So if you were to get one, where would you get it?
Probably on my upper shoulder.
Okay.
Something really classy. Obviously, dragonfly. I mean, along that line, not the butterfly, but just something not trashy and not just for whatever reasons I need to have that particular mark because it's permanent.
I'm gonna be honest. If you just You just got on a whim and you're like, you know what, today's the day, I'm just gonna go do it. And you can't think of anything else. Butterfly on the butt cheeks is always the way to go. That's just
Yeah, that's not going to happen. It would be the shoulder or, somewhere that's fairly easy to cover and not where, I do not want a tramp stamp of any kind. And how do I say this? I have a high moral integrity for myself, but I have a very liberal opinion of others. We have the right to choice, but there's also the right to consequences. Because somebody had made the comment that I don't know whether I was liberal or something, but as far as myself goes, I'm pretty conservative. But I have okay, and I'm going to sidestep this a minute too, because there's been a lot about Texas and the abortion rule. And normally I don't step in on this, but my thought is, if men could actually carry a baby, there wouldn't even be an issue of why there may be a need for an abortion.
what are you talking about? They told
Now,
society says men can have
I
kids
do
now.
understand. Wait a minute. I do understand that. I actually have seen women use it as a birth control option, and that's not cool. And but the thing is that woman has to also deal with the consequences of her body not giving her a child when she wants to have one either.
But I
If
thought,
we do these medical procedures to our body, we still have to deal with the consequences that happen with them afterwards.
but here's my thing though, right?
Mhm.
But now society's telling us, right, that men can get pregnant and men can have periods. So are we not policing men's bodies also now?
I do not follow that scientific rule of bunk.
Why?
It's bullshit. They do get PMS. I'm not going to deny that. That's a chemical interaction. I definitely agree that men get PMS once a month, just like women do. But I do not agree that men can get pregnant. They have to biologically have female anatomy in order to be able to give birth.
I mean, the science has changed.
Ain't changed that much.
Well, that's what they're telling us,
Shit.
right? We watch videos in here quite frequently saying that men suffer
Okay,
from period poverty.
Okay, but mental health issues are far different than physical traits. Let's put it that way.
Okay. So you think all this talk is it's a health concern, but a mental health concern, not a reproductive health situation.
I think it definitely borders on mental health issues. I don't have any doubt that the amount of flippity-floppy bullshit that people do these days and lack of consistency and boundaries is definitely mental health issues. I'm not just saying that they don't have their feelings and they're not valid. It's just, why spray it all over into the public when you don't even have your own shit in check? That's a problem. And then you're expecting everybody else to validate your shit because you don't have it in check. Problem number 2. So.
How is the grandbaby?
Oh my God, she just turned 9 months. She's absolutely adorable, and I love her to death. She's doing great.
Good. That's excellent. Okay.
And being a conservative is not a bad thing.
No, absolutely not.
But yeah, the thing is I would love to be able to feed everybody and house everybody, but there's still the reality of, where's the bottom line of it? Did I vote for Trump? Absolutely not. Did I vote for Biden? No, I didn't. And I'll leave it at that.
You voted for, who was the other one? What was that? What was that other one? Lady that wrote the books or something?
I don't know, pescatarian, I don't know, something. Oops, that was a fish thing.
Well,
anyway, I don't know. But, the point is that we just really have to get through this COVID bullshit and do better.
Do you think that the COVID is causing a lot of these mental health issues?
I'm sorry, repeat that?
So do you think that the corona is causing a lot of these mental health issues?
Oh, hell no. I think people had issues far before this went on. I think that it's allowed people to step out of their zones and just allow stupid to just be front and center. You know, I hate to say it, but I kind of understand why the people at McDonald's are all quitting because they don't want people rude to them. You know, they're the bottom of the barrel. They get paid the lowest no matter if they get $15 or $20 an hour. They're still bottom of the barrel. And if you look, you know, media-wise, there are so many uproars at the lack of behavior in public displays of stupidity more than, I don't know. I mean, can you honestly say in the last couple of years you've seen so many bad behaviors in restaurants?
Yeah, that twerking on the table shit is way out of line. Lots of scrapping, lots of fights. So, oh yeah, it's all bad.
Yeah, customers punching cashiers. I mean, and people like reaching in through the drive-through and being violent. I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah, but I'm gonna be honest, they're just living the life we want to live. It's been so many times I probably wanted to knock the shit out of a cashier, but you know, I know it's not right. It's been plenty of times that I wish I just had a cousin I could call one of my old ghetto ass cousins from home. Hey, just come knock the shit out of this bitch. But you know, it's not appropriate. It's not the right thing to do. But some people don't have those limitations. Some people don't have those restrictors.
I can't say I don't disagree with you, and there have been moments, but you know, that's where being civilized and being savage is the line is drawn. You know, and we're seeing a lot more savage than we are civilized.
I got one last question for you, Miss Bell.
Sure.
So you having mixed race children, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Which direction did your which direction do your kids lean? Are they kind of open minded when it comes to race, or do they prefer a particular race?
Before my son got with my daughter-in-law, he was pretty open, but he ended up getting with a white girl. My daughter, she's, you know, she hasn't made a decision yet. She likes guys one way or the other, but just hasn't figured out what she wants yet. And so sometimes, you know, this is the other thing that people don't talk about. Sometimes it's a matter of availability. You know, when women go to Alaska, there's more men per capita than there are women. You know, when you go to other places, there's more women than there are men per capita. So it's not only the fact that you've got, there's all sorts of things that go into this dating pool crap. You know, age, you know, what people are looking for, what you know, some people won't go under 2 years, some people will, you know, go out 20 years from where they are. You know, you get some people that like people that are tall, short, whatever. So there's all sorts of things that go into that. And then you have to figure out, well, where you're at. If you're in the hood, then you're going to be dealing with hood rats. If you're in, you know, the gated community, you're dealing with the gated community. You know, it doesn't mean that the gated community doesn't have bad credit and the person in the hood has an 800 credit score. But it's just the fact of getting through all the bullshit to find out what works. I don't know. I'm not really in the dating position at this point. I want another little while. I'm still stretching it out with COVID.
You gotta find you a man with a hot body and some antibodies. You know,
Shit, yeah, side piece that I can just say, go home when I need you to go home.
Sure, if you're kicking them out, oh my goodness.
Hell yeah. Do what I need and go home.
Mm-hmm.
I had enough of staying over and dealing with the cleanup afterwards. And not to say I wouldn't make them dinner or wouldn't, you know, do laundry, but yeah, right now I'm not there and I'm okay with that. There were plenty of breakfast, dinners, and lunches and stuff that I put together and house cleaning I did. I'm semi-retired. I'm good with that.
Okay. All right, well, Miss Bell, if there's nothing else you'd like to share with us, I appreciate your call.
Nope, I'm good. And you guys have a good night, and I'm back on the boards.
All right. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate it.
All right, night.
Bye. Shout out to Miss Bell for always being a good sport. I try to poke and prod and poke. You know. Broderick, what the hell is you talking about? And no to a statement that you made earlier. And it's not like, I mean, that's a choice that that individual made, right? Like I say, there is no restrictor plate, Broderick. Oh, I did mean to ask about that. So, okay. There was something else. I got to scroll back. Oh yeah, now motherfucker, like that's the crazy part, right? Now motherfucker be mad, give you shitty service, but you know, they want that check on time. So next time you better vote. Wisconsin, Virginia Tech football team last weekend. So, man, like I say, I'll save that conversation for another time. Doug, McDonald's is such a weird thing. You know, you like to own, you gotta go like to McUniversity. Yeah, we were invested for a little while though, Broderick. So, you know, we had to exterminate, and then we will repopulate. Yeah, I've been trying to get Broderick to give me the Misty info. You've been holding on to it. You don't want to share Misty. You're trying to keep Misty all to itself. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to keep all that great conversation to himself. That's what he run his thoughts by before he posts them on Facebook. Broderick has the most toxic Facebook account I've ever seen. Period. Ever. It's terrible. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the Denline this evening?
What's going on, Hunter? This is your boy Man Up here one more again.
Mr. Man Up, how you doing this evening, sir?
I cannot complain. How you feeling? That's the question.
Oh, good, man. Like I said, life is good. You know, every day above ground, you know, walking around, I have no complaints.
That's great. That's always good news. Well, I decided to go ahead and give a call after Miss Bell got off the line. I was trying to get somebody's time to call in, like, name starts with an M, but, you know. Let's go ahead and talk about this topic, the swirl.
Okay.
Now, you know, I've told my story plenty of times, you know, in the den, and I don't think nothing's really wrong with it. I think it's a great thing. I think that shows how far we have come as a country, you know, that we all can get together. Now, I know that, you know, y'all gonna say, man, if you married to a black woman. True. I am married to a black woman. But before I was married to this black woman, yeah, I didn't mind, like Ms. Bell said, it's all about availability. It's all about, who you attract to at that moment. You know what I'm saying? Who's attracted to you, who you attract to, all that good stuff. And I think we as a people, man, we have came so far in this country. I think it's great. You know what I'm saying? That we are mixing things up. Because at first, you know, if you ever did something like that, they would cut the man's dick off. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. You silly, Hunter. That's what it was. Now, it is frowned, but you ain't nowhere near that right now, you know, these days. But there are people that will talk crap about you, you know, oh, you going to get in with them because of this and that. And I think that's bullshit, you know what I'm saying? If you have a problem with that, why don't you do it then? So that way your men won't go nowhere. Or that way your women won't go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Why don't you do it? So if you got a problem with someone dating outside their race. Me personally, I don't have a problem with that at all. I love to see it. I ain't gonna lie, because it's just like I said, it shows how far we come as a country. And then on top of that as well, I don't give a damn who you get with. Your life, your business. Just know that, once you do decide to step out, you just know that there are people that's going to speak their mind upon it. That's just what it is. It sucks, it ain't right, but that's just what it is. Let's be honest. So when I'm seeing, excuse me, sorry. So when I see people like that, I don't think nothing of it. It don't bother me. But I do see people with their little sly comments, they making dumb faces and like they offended and shit, like it's bothering them that somebody else is together with someone else. You know what I'm saying?
I got a question, Mr. Man.
Go ahead.
Do you think it's one particular group or demographic that behaves that way more than others?
Of course. And I already know where you're going with that. Of course.
Just curious.
Next answer to your question, of course, one more time. Just in case y'all want to know, yeah, it is black women that do act stupid. I come out and say it, I don't give a damn. And I'm married to a black woman. I don't give a damn. We're finna be married in January for 14 years. I don't give a damn. I'm going to speak my mind. It's black women that got something to say. I see it all the time. When I'm out in public, I see it all the time. Black women will turn their nose up and got something to say, or he only with her because of blah, blah, blah. And like I said, that shit has happened to me before I met my wife. Oh, you only with her because she'll say, you only with her because you can't handle no strong black woman. No, how about, your funky ass attitude? That's why nobody want to deal with you. That's the fact of race is you personally. You see what I'm saying? It ain't race, it's you. But so yeah, it is black women. I said, I don't give a fuck. You can get mad at me all you want. Don't get mad at her. He ain't said it, I said it. Get mad at me. I take some of the heat off of you, Honcho. I know you've been making him mad lately. I take some of the heat off of you. I said it.
I don't be tripping.
I said it. Any more questions for me?
Well, I mean, but like you said, in this they have the attitude and the things like that. Why do you think they feel that way in particular? Like, what is it?
Oh, go ahead.
No, what is it? Do you think it stems from?
I don't know where it stems from, but one of my sisters did explain this to me. It feels like they're being betrayed. They feel like that they don't have many options and things like that. I said, you got all the options in the world. It's who you are as a person that limits your options. It's the things that you want from a man that's going to limit your options. You know what I'm saying? Because, damn, I forgot the numbers, but fuck, don't hold me to this. But if I'm not mistaken, they said that there was only like 14.5% of men in this country that's over 6 feet tall.
That sounds about right.
So I was like, if that's true, you already eliminating your options right there. Not only are you against the wall because there's more women on this earth than men, then when you start throwing in all these other criteria that you want to have, you see what I'm saying? So I told my sister, I said, that's stupid. I'm not trying to say that you don't deserve the best. I mean, that's for you to decide, and whatever life throws at you. But at the end of the day, when you feel like that you don't have no options, you know what I'm saying? And now I'm not saying that's every woman. So I don't want to hear nobody in the comments saying that ain't true. That's just what I was told. So some people feel differently. So, but anyway, and I'm like, that's dumb. First of all, why do a lot of people say, okay, there was a study that said that the most attractive women on this earth are black women, but the least married on this earth is black women. So why do you think that is? If you're the most beautiful creature on this earth, why don't nobody want to be with you? Just think about that for a second. So I'll leave it at that. Any other questions for me?
Mm, no, I don't think I have any further additions.
Okay. Well, like I said, y'all don't get mad at Honcho. Get mad at me. I said it. Take your beat off of you, Honcho. I got you back tonight.
Appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it.
I'm gonna get in the bed with my beautiful black woman. Talk to y'all later.
All right, that's a bit. Appreciate it, Mr. Man Up.
Yep.
All right. John, before you call in, give me 1 second. I need to take a quick Honcho hiatus, and then we'll be looking forward to Mr. John's call. My favorite New York. Y'all give me just a moment. Right back after these messages. There's no messages. Let's be right back. Y'all just give me like 37 seconds. We're back. Bam. All right. All right. Ha! Pitch from across the room to one. What are you talking about? I just opened my door right here. That's piss power right there. Oh man. Do do toots. Do do toots. Do 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 do. Wow. That yeah, you should be pissed, kid. And this is coming from a nigga who was in your brother's situation about a little over a year or so ago. And that's why I be saying, like, some people get offended by the things that I say. Some people say, that be talking down. It's not that. It's that I think we all know right from wrong, right? Whether you're doing right or you're doing wrong. We know what it is, right? We know the outcomes. And we just simply talk about it, point it out. You know what I mean? And so there's that. All righty, lovely Miss Sarah Lou. Oh, I've been out for 2. Oh, no. Deacon we appreciate the love, Deacon Thank you. Glad you could join us. You've been out for 2 years? Oh no. Oh no. Yeah. So like I say, just it's like a racehorse. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
It's Clayton Bigsby. Want to talk?
Hello, Mr. Bigsby.
Got something to say about this issue here.
Well, what is on your mind about swirling, interracial dating, the flip-flop finesse?
Well, to start off, I do agree with what I've heard you say and some other people over the years. That there's a difference between people who date out and people who swirl.
Mm-hmm.
To me, swirling is like when you put an emphasis on dating someone based on skin color.
Mm-hmm.
And usually it's for like superficial, shallow self-hating, ignorant reasons.
Right.
Whereas dating out is just, you happen to meet somebody who's, not from the same group or culture as you, or you happen to take a liking to someone else's culture, but it's built more on like morals, values, and the good stuff to say, whatever. But yeah, I do got a lot of things to say, but I figure I'll let you take the lead here because I'll probably just end up pissing everybody off.
Well, that's how we like it in the den. Just we're trying to piss off as many people as we can, and those who stick around are great people. Okay. So it's actually pretty interesting because we get to get the other side. And I started off making a statement or kind of talking about an experience I had the other day. I'm gonna say, was it day before Labor Day? It might have been that Sunday, or it might have been that Saturday before Labor Day. And like I said, I saw the two different sets of interracial couples, both with white males, both with black females. As far as yourself, is this something you see to be true from your perspective? Like, do I would say more upscale or more well put together white men prefer a certain type of woman if they date outside the race? Do they have expectations and standards, or is it more of a free range thing?
I would say the majority of men from each, whether you want to say cultural background, ethnicity, whatever, they all want, I guess what would be considered a 10, good looks, good personality, feminine, cooperative, intelligent, but not annoying with it, stuff like that. I think maybe some groups have more luck with it than others due to some social reasons, as well as maybe negative or positive stereotypes that's out there in society and the media and etc. I think also whenever it's black and white dating each other, it always gets more attention because of the history between black and white people in this country, to say the least. I also think because it's less commonly, well, until recently, it's been less common for like black women to date out as much or as openly. So now that it's being seen a little more, now it's like a big deal, and maybe people notice a really good looking black woman more often than they would notice maybe a really good white woman with a black guy, good looking white woman with a black guy. I notice it all. I see pretty fit white women with black guys. I see fat, ugly white women with black guys. I see pretty black women that are fit with white guys, and I see fat, ugly black women that are white guys. I see it all, but I have an eye for it. I see it, because I'm like in that community. I don't date interracially exclusively. I date, whatever woman I find pretty and she likes me back. But I have an eye for that. Like I see it. But I would say I think in some communities, maybe when you achieve a certain level of maybe economic status or even social status, your numbers do get more limited than some other groups. I mean, like, if you're a six-figure earning PhD, you're probably like not as rare if you're in the Asian community as if you were in the African American community, or the white community and the Hispanic community. So I think as you look for certain things and they become more rare in certain communities, then people within that community may get frustrated quicker and then say, I'm not going to live my life alone or unhappy, date down. Let me find my happiness somewhere else, and that might be dealing with somebody of a different community.
Okay. So
it's more socially acceptable for certain communities to bash people for dating out than in other communities. Like a black person can bash another black person for dating a white person. But if I were to say call out a white woman for dating out, I'd immediately be called a racist, a white supremacist, a bigot, a Trump supporter, just the worst guy in the world. So, some communities have it a little tougher.
So, from your perspective, I'm going to bring up one of my favorite topics to talk about: the hair, the artificial hair. How is that viewed in comparison, saying a black woman who wears weave, in your view, or maybe in the view of more your community, compared to a woman whose hair naturally grows like that? Is there a difference? Is it viewed differently, or is it kind of a doesn't matter thing?
At the end of the day, everyone has their opinion, but I could say, like, for my guy friends, at the end of the day, it depends how hot she is. Like, none of my guy friends are going to complain that Beyonce wears a wig, but my guy friends would complain if, like, Precious is hitting on them and she's wearing a weave. So, for me, I don't care what skin color the woman is. I don't do any fake hair. Fake hair just reminds me that, for me, it reminds me that you have a hive mind mentality. You probably follow Cardi B. You probably follow all the latest trends where girls are contouring their face. All this witchcraft where they look like somebody completely different when you take the makeup off, and you're probably liberal as fuck, which, hey, if you are, you are, but I'm not into that. So to me, when I start seeing wigs, extensions, crazy makeup, I just start thinking of all the things that I don't like. And also, I want to know what you look like with all that stuff on. And usually they don't look as attractive because nobody leaves the house saying, let me leave the house looking uglier than I look without whatever it is that I'm putting on. I never put on like a shirt and I'm like, this shirt is so loose fitting, it makes me look out of shape. Like I would never do that. I want to put the house look good. And a woman wouldn't leave the house wearing makeup if she thought she looked uglier in it. So when I start seeing all that stuff, I just start thinking of all the negative, and just to be blunt, if I see a black woman wearing 18-inch fucking 18 bundles of, silky Milky Way finger roll 1B hair, I'm just gonna be like, okay, do you have any self-hate issues? Let me guess, that's a protective style? Let me see your social media pictures. Looks like you've been protecting your hair for the last 22 years. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's just all that plus the fact that I just like the girl next door look is fine. So.
Okay. So Mr. Man Up called up earlier and he said that the most hate that he's seen, when crossing over from a particular group has been black women. When you have dated outside of your race, who do you think has given you the most flack, or the relationship the most flack?
I'm going to answer that in 1 second, but is there a problem with my phone? Can you guys not hear me okay, or is the chat room just fucking with me?
Every little now and then it'll kind of get a little bit low. Then it'll come right back.
Oh. All right, I'm not home, so I'm trying to not wake somebody up. All right, so what were you saying now about the last question?
I'm saying that, Mr. Man Up said he had a particular group that he felt like black women were the ones who gave him the most flack whenever, he dated outside the race. Who has given you the most hassle, would you say, and you've had an interracial relationship?
From people that I don't know, it would probably be Hispanic people. Hispanic people, for some reason, always felt the need to chime in when I was dating a black woman. Only when I was dating a black woman, though. I could have been out with an Indian woman, Chinese woman. They wouldn't say anything. But as soon as I was out with a black woman, I oftentimes would get, and they'd always do it in this way, like they thought they were trying to help you, and they thought that the conversation, just because they don't yell at you or raise their voice, like it was an acceptable conversation to have with a stranger. And then in terms of who would give the woman the toughest time if she was black, it would be other black people. I've noticed that black people would be very, very, I guess, nasty, for lack of a better word, with and this didn't happen all the time, but whenever they did, they would be very nasty with the black woman that I was dating. And a lot of times I'd find out it was like when I would have to leave for a second, maybe go to the restroom, or if I had my back turned. But yeah, I would say black people gave the black woman I was dating the toughest time. Hispanic people would have the most to say, but they would never like try anything crazy. They would just have something to say. And like I said, it was always like they thought they were doing like in a respectful way, like they like want to sit you down, have a like I had. All right, so I had this friend. We haven't spoken like in 2 or 3 years, so I don't know if I can technically call him a friend still. But I had this guy as a friend. He's Dominican, and we were friends for like 15 years. We used to work together back in the day before I went self-employed. And this guy, I was engaged to an American black woman back in the day, and he literally called me and gave me like the race speech, telling me how I'm superior because I'm white, and that's like the greatest thing ever, and I shouldn't like disrespect my race by belittling my race to date and marry a black woman. I mean, he just went in. He was just like, like, you have all this privilege. Why would you throw it out the window? Like, black people are animals and they belong in the jungle. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, sitting there like, okay, you know what? I'm like, this guy's off as a fucking rocker. I got a white supremacist speech from a brown man.
Yeah.
And, I could tell he had a lot of self-hate issues too. He would always tell me on the phone, like, you have it good, you're white. He's like, your white skin is like $1 million. He's like, if I ever won the lotto and won $1 million, I'd just be a spick with $1 million. And I'm like, that's because you see yourself like that. I'm like, there's plenty of people that, couldn't care less of what your ethnic background is and care more about how you treat them. And yeah, there's some people out there that won't like you no matter what because you'll look like, but, why focus on them? So, yeah, I believe man up when he says he gotten a lot of shit. I think there's no reason to disbelieve anyone who says that. We live in America, And yeah, I got the most comments or conversations from Hispanic people, and I got the most. Well, not even me, really. The women I was dating. That's the weirdest thing. When I was dating, only happened when I was dating black women, and they would always they would never I've literally had like a black person like say something to like a black woman that I was with when she was right next to me, but they would not look me in the eye. They wouldn't say it to me. They wouldn't threaten me at all. And I'm just like, I don't know. Part of me was like, is it because I'm not important because it's her that's like quote unquote the sellout, not me? Or is it because they think like if they mess with me and the cops get involved because I'm white, they automatically take my side? I never really, never had to find out, thank God. But I told you a story once when I first called into the den where that guy was trying to run us off the road on the parkway. So I took an ex-girlfriend of mine, different black girlfriend. We went out of state, not far, and because my ex had a coworker who was like kind of like roller derby skating thing. So we were there, and then when we were leaving, maybe 10 minutes already on the parkway on the Clearview Expressway, and she's like, "Oh yeah, we were there. This white guy." She's like, he looked at me. He was just nodding his head like, no, because I was with you. And I'm like, who? I'm like, I didn't see him. She's like, yeah, he did it when you went to the bathroom. And I then realized, okay, that's why you didn't tell me while we were there, because my dumbass would have said something to him. On that car ride home is when a black man pulls up next to us and tries to run us off the road and play like bumper cars in the middle of the highway. And then I get off the exit over here in Queens and over Jamaica Ave, and I pull up right next to him at a red light, and she's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I just looked at him because I was going to say, I was going to tell him like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And I look at him, and this man looks so possessed. I'm not even exaggerating. He looked like Colin Ferguson. Like he had that crazy psycho. Like there was something. He had to be mentally ill. Like he looked it. Yeah. And I was like, all right, well, let me look straight forward and and let me fucking slam on the gas as soon as the light turns green. Yeah. And he was an older man, probably maybe in his 60s, maybe 50s or 60s. But yeah, I believe anybody who tells me that they, I mean, granted, there's people that lie too, but I believe, you know, if someone says they got some shit, I believe it. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've heard it with my own ears. So
So would you say, in your opinion, do you feel like, you know, now that it's kind of more acceptable that it's not as much of an issue, or do you think you still have some holdouts that really still find a problem with it?
I think a combination of, I think plenty of people still have a problem with it, but they're becoming more acclimated to it. Whereas like they don't like it, but they're just like, fuck, what am I gonna waste my time saying it? Obviously, it's not gonna stop or happen any less. And then I also think, you know, there's with social media, with everybody being on social media in one form or another, if you say something stupid, people are gonna fucking bombard you, try and get you fired from your job. So I think it's a combination of people just most people, because there's still some fucking idiots out there. Most people are trying to watch what they say on the internet, and a combination of, yeah, I don't like it, but what's the point of arguing about it? No one's going to stop doing it.
Okay.
And I think also like, kind of like parents with their kids, like the more you tell them no, the more they're just going to try and do it anyway. So it's kind of like maybe sometimes you just like don't say anything and hope they forget about it.
Oh man. Okay. I don't really have too many other questions. Anything you want to add, or just something that may be on your mind?
I would say to anybody who's trying to date someone strictly because they're not your ethnicity or culture, or because you think someone else of a different ethnicity or culture can do something for you because of their ethnicity or culture, you know, you should really take some time to yourself. And I don't want to say do some soul searching, but you should really take some time to yourself, work on yourself, get to know people for who they really are, and you'll see that there's good and bad people in every group. I'm going to make a video about this topic probably within the next like couple of months. And basically like, because as my experience as a white guy who's dated a fair number of non-white women over the years, that, you know, I've had women that I've met, dated, whatever, who were like, oh, I don't date black guys, or I only date white guys, or I hate men of my own culture for this, and this reason. And it's bullshit. And I think if that's what you think, I think either you're a liar, or it's your own fault. You keep attracting the bad guys of your group, and then you want to take it out on the entire group and not take accountability that maybe it's you. Because I don't care what group, whether you're a guy or a woman, and what group you come from, there's going to be people within your group that are very happy, very successful. They're successful in an intimate relationship, business relationship, their relationship with God. But yet somehow you say all the people in your group are bad. And I don't think people realize how ignorant and culturalist they sound when they talk like that. You know, I know off the top of my head, I've had many women tell me that they don't date black guys. And I usually tell them, well, then we can't date. I said, because you got something wrong with you. I said, first of all, I'm nobody's second fucking option. I want to hear you say you date everybody, and I'm the best, and that's why you picked me. So, and two, what do you think? I'm gonna fix you? You know what I mean? Like, I joke around like I'm white, but I ain't Jesus. Like, I'm not here to fix you. You know, and I tell them, like, you know, there's plenty of men within your group that are good guys. You just overlook them, or they don't want you because you don't work on yourself. So, you know, I as soon as I hear any woman in any group talking about the men of her group or this and that, I'm like, all right, see you later. See you later, because it's not them, it's you. I don't care what group you are. And I noticed lately within like the when it comes to like dating, relationship, like advice and videos and discussions, especially amongst black men and black women, there's been a lot of okay, so like over the years, there's always been talked about how white people fetishize black people when it comes to dating and like the slave myths and sex and stuff like that. I've noticed that lately, like a lot of black people are doing that to white people. Like they're fetishizing like the white privilege. Like, oh, like, well, I'll get me a white man, and because I'm upgrading, I'm leveling up with a white man. And then a black guy be like, well, I got me a white girl because white girls don't do this and they don't do that. And I'm just like, okay, you guys are doing the same thing. You're fetishizing the, I guess, quote unquote, positive stereotypes of white people to weaponize that against each other. Like, but then, turn around and for the last fucking 400 years complain that black people have been using you as sex toys. So it's like, okay, it's funny how, people are so blind or ignorant or just don't care and hypocrites.
Yeah.
It's like people just need to fucking chill out. I think, like Man Up said, like when he sees people of different backgrounds dating and finding happiness, that's a beautiful thing because it shows that the country's progressing. It shows, and that's one of the meanings of equality, because the whole point of equality is everyone be able to have an opportunity like everyone else. So, and no, like dating out doesn't necessarily end racism and discrimination, but it doesn't hurt. You know what I mean? It's like if people see other people falling in love and being happy, whether it's friendship, relationships, business, whatever, with people who don't look like them and from all walks of life, that is a positive image for others. And unfortunately, when that happens, one culture starts to lose out for a new culture. The new culture is a blended culture, and the old culture is whatever, black culture, white culture, whatever it is. So then you get the haters for that reason too. I know like it's not uncommon for black culture to say like dating out is destroying the black community and black people are going to become less and less of the population of America because now it's going to be biracial people and then they're going to marry white people and before you know there's no more black people. So there's like that whole thing. And then you have white people who've been saying that like if black and white people mix, it's going to decrease white people. So it's just, you're never going to get progress without somebody trying to, stop it. So I don't know. I know I've been rambling, but there's so much I want to say about this stuff, and I want to get so deep, but I don't know how deep you want to get in this phone call.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, probably we might have to save it there because I'm gonna get ready to wind up here shortly. We cross a little over the 2 hour mark, but I always do enjoy chopping it up with you because you bring up some very valid points, especially the thing you just said about kind of the reverse fetishization of from black to white, because it is when you put it like that, there's a lot of that going on, and so that might be something that we can definitely dive a little deeper into in the near future.
Yeah, and like I know that I don't know if you want me mentioning other YouTubers' names on here, but okay, so I know that Kevin Samuels has made the saying sign language very popular.
Mm-hmm.
I know that he didn't create it, and my apologies to whoever did create it. Shout out to him or her, but and I agree that women do use sign language, but where I don't know if I would say I disagree, but where I would extend it is all groups of people use sign language. Republicans and Democrats use it towards each other when it comes to politics. White people and black people use it towards each other when it comes to race relations. Wokes use it against conservatives. It's like, and like how Kevin pitches it, which is men versus, women use it on men. And I believe some men use it on women too. So it's just like, it's just people just want to complain. People just want to rage. No one actually wants to talk about like the psychology behind things, talk about, the real reason why people are saying what they're saying. And that's what my video is going to be about when I make it. I'm really going to get into it. I'm going to give it from my perspective as a white guy who has dated, all colors of women, but as far as non-white women, they were mostly black women. And, having friends who are not white as well, I'm going to give my perspective on all that. And just, I don't know. They're definitely never going to monetize me.
Oh man, you get it. You get it. You mean you cross the threshold? You have the 4,000 hours of watch time. Is it still 4,000?
Yeah, I got past 1,000 subscribers and the 4,000 watch hours a while ago, but I was getting all my legal shit set up,
Okay.
and I just applied for monetization, and they accepted my AdSense account, and now they're saying that they're reviewing my channel. There's no way.
Oh,
I mean,
I think you'd be surprised because even when it happened with the den, I know there's some craziness going on. I think it just takes time a little longer now because I don't, they still got a lot of people kind of out of pocket and things like that. But I think, how long have you been waiting?
a couple days. It
Couple.
says it could take up to a month, so
Yeah.
I'm not really sweating like how long they wait. But actually, I'm kind of happy they didn't get back to me like right away, because that would have probably meant like definitely denied.
Mhm.
But I like after my last video, the one I made about where that comedian guy was going, fucking foaming at the mouth against interracial relationships. I just feel like even though my message is supposed to be positive and loving, I just feel like all the cursing and the way I went about it, I don't think YouTube's going to be like, oh, this is advertiser friendly.
Yeah, I mean, because the way they got it set up now is they kind of have like these little guidelines to where you kind of do pre-checks now. And so, you'll say, well, it's got a lot of, it has moderate profanity or it has this. So they'll kind of, I think you'll be all right. I think you'll be all right because they kind of have, like I say, if it's with violence, they got just a bunch of different little categories that kind of help you determine whether it's ad safe or not, and a little bunch of pre-checks they do. So, I mean, just because that was like that, I don't think that'll stop you. I think, like I said, I think it's just going to take a little time because they got people, out of pocket. Some of the little groups I'm in that, give little tips and things like that. I know some of the folks that, it's taking them a little bit. They apply, maybe it took them about a month or so. So I think it'd be good.
So, in regards to the monetization, because I just saw someone in your comment section make a comment, I don't really care about getting the ads on the videos because most people have ad blocker anyway. My question is, if they say that my stuff isn't ad revenue friendly, can I still get the join me button? Because that's all I really care about is like the join me button. Then people pay their subscription, and then I'll just make my money off of that.
See, I think that's all like together because once they, activate for monetization, they like the join, the super chats, it's some other thing I know that they've added recently. I think like thank you stickers or something. I don't have it on the den, but I have it on the sauce, which is weird. And then, like I said, just the little things like that. I think that all falls under the monetization umbrella. So I think it would have to be approved for that.
Yeah, and I think I want to make a video too. Maybe we could do a collab on it. I made a couple of videos in regards to interracial dating already. One of them I was, doing commentary where I was criticizing a white guy, and then the one where I was criticizing that comedian for being pretty much like anti-interracial dating. And then I did one sticking up for the head coach, Hubert Davis of the Tar Heels, the men's basketball program. And I purposely the head coach one, I purposely like made that one and then said what I said in there on purpose because I wanted to see the difference, how it would come if I was sticking up as a white guy dating black women versus if I was sticking up for a black guy dating white women, what kind of different response I would get. And man, it was like day and night. Like the one where I was sticking up for Coach Davis with his white wife, they were just like, you don't understand the pathology of a black man. They hate themselves and they're gay and they all want to. I was like, what? Like if you go read the comments, it's like you don't understand the pathology. But then when I made the one about the comedian, the comedian Godfrey with being against interracial. Oh my God, you understand black women so well. Where did you learn all this knowledge about the black community? I was like, you motherfuckers.
Oh yeah, you definitely see some different vibes depending on, like I say, how you come at it and the topic at hand. I've seen some very interesting things. Sometimes I've seen some stuff that just makes me think, should I really be going this direction? And you get some of those people who are going to feel the way they feel no matter what, whether it's a black guy, white guy, whoever saying whatever. It's so deeply ingrained within them to think whatever they think. They're just going to spew whatever they say. I just kind of to the point where I don't even really care.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say to everybody, including you, Honcho, find whoever makes you happy. You know, whether you date somebody within your own culture or a different culture, like you're always gonna have your problems. And you know, whatever, you know, learning new things is not gonna hurt you. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And you know, open up your minds, open up your hearts, open up your wallets sometimes, and just do you, and just let everybody live in peace. You know, it's you telling people that they can't do something is no different than complaining that back in the day people were telling other people you can't do something. You know, whether it was Jim Crow laws in America, Nazi Germany over in Germany, whatever, King Leopold in the Congo. It's like when you tell people that I don't want you doing this and you're horrible for doing it, when it's something simple like dating somebody and falling in love with somebody, you're no different than the people that you claim to hate. Or, what is Heidi writing? You guys break your neck for 10 years to get 5,000 followers and a 20-year-old girl feeding pantyhose fetish. Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. When I first started, there was literally, I would see girls, like a picture of a girl, don't even know if it's a real girl, and then I click on it, it's like, subscriber count, 500. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, I have 10.
Yeah. That's why I don't want to hear you women complain about life's too hard. God damn it. All you gotta do is put up a picture and y'all get fucking followers. That's why it sounds crazy, but I do not take, like, when I watch videos and things, like YouTube advice or anything like that, I do not take the advice if it's a woman giving it. And it's not because I'm sexist or anything like that, but I don't think they ever account for the fact that, if you're decent looking, men are desperate and they'll subscribe to you for no reason.
I agree with you, although I do think there's a very, very small percentage of women who do give good advice. It's a small percentage, though. But here's because I'm going to make a video about that psychology, too, but isn't that men's fault? We're the ones that make it so easy for them. It's not, I don't blame the women necessarily. I mean, they should take some accountability and at least acknowledge that, like, it is a little easier for them, but that's because of us, because we just see a pair of tits and ass and we're just like, let me see.
Yes. It's terrible. Oh man. But yeah, I mean, and it is. And I mean, like I say, you definitely have to blame men, because that's why they're able to get away with these behaviors continually, even the worst actors of them, the PJ Washingtons of the world. So it is what it is.
All right, Honcho, I've been rambling enough here. Thank you for taking the call. I appreciate it. Thank you to everyone in the den for being who you are. And have a good night, everyone.
All right, Mr. John, you take care of yourself and you be safe up there in New York, sir, and I appreciate you calling in.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. All right. So before we wind it down, I guess, some of you who may be new, if you enjoyed some of the previous callers, Mr. John from New York, Mr. Man Up, on the main page, if you scroll down a little bit, I have recommended channels. And you will see the John from New York. You will see Man Cave. Make sure you go and give them a follow. Both highly recommended channels. If you enjoyed the calls, you definitely enjoy the channels. Heidi is a terrible person. Yeah. So there's that. Yeah, it definitely is. Women out there having respect for yourself and stuff. What's wrong with you? What's that? What's wrong with y'all? Oh, and I gotta put you on there, Cult Classic Cage. Now that you got active, I definitely gotta put you on there. But like I said, man, enjoyable show, man. I'm enjoying it. The den, slowly but surely, getting to where it was. Great calls from everybody who called in tonight, so I appreciate all of y'all. Shout out to John Burke, Crybaby LeBron, Daniel Burns, all new subscribers within the stream. Like I said, it's been a long time since we've seen that. I guess the commentary on the Larry Elder situation, interesting. So it is what it is, and the Larry Elder situation is unfortunate. It is what it is, but like I said, there's certain double standards that take place. Heidi, I hope you stub your toe this evening, just randomly. I hope you practice one of your bad twerks. Slip and just stub the toe, the pinky toe of all toes. And you can't post on your OnlyFans for 2 weeks. But with that being said, same den time, same den channel tomorrow, 9 p.m. Central Time. Excuse me. Also, stay tuned. Look forward for more short recordings. Hit that notification bell. Definitely going to get back on that because I was just looking. It's been months since I dropped a short video. So we're going to get back to having those. We're going to get back to quality den content, den discussing everyday news. I think that's where we're going with this. I've been trying to figure out to make the den stand for something compared to what it used to be. So with that being said, y'all be cool like y'all be cool. Make sure you're following all the proper social medias down below. And yeah, your IG might be funnier, Heidi, but you don't have a Scotty. So there's that. So I'll see y'all later. Code Classic Cage. Thank you, ma'am. And yeah, I'm tired, bro. I'm tired. I mean, my hourage is bad. I need to sleep more. But I'm gone. Y'all take care of yourselves so y'all can be back tomorrow. Oh, I said I was supposed to show y'all like the topic of the next day. A couple of things here. Let me see. Where's that? What was today? I got what's tomorrow. Today's was technically Fridays, and that other one was that one. So what was? Okay, then we did that. What was Tuesday? I think we'll go with this one tomorrow. This was originally scheduled for today. So let me show y'all what tomorrow's topic will be, and then we gonna cha-cha slide. Do 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 do. Really? That's crazy. I got all messed up, so there we go. We will be discussing this tomorrow. That being said, yeah, Scotty got to do something. Scotty eat up all the damn food. Scotty got to get a job. Project, you're a terrible racist. You're borderline racism. So we'll be talking about chivalry tomorrow. Who really killed it, and can it be revived? So with that being said, good night. I'm gone.